the intent of putting out this narrative that retail workers are kind of just sitting on their hands and getting paid for it, and it's like destroying the economy. It's like they're saying, don't blame us for not paying them well enough, blame them for not accepting that pay and for having standards. It's kind of like, it almost reminds me of people that have terrible personalities, I guess you could say, and then get angry when no one wants to hang out with them. Okay, that is really specific. It sounds like I have some issues to think about in my personal life. Let me think of another analogy before I like fucking psychoanalyze myself. Not that I'm talking about myself. At least I don't think I am. Am I? No, I don't think I have a terrible personality. Unless you fuck with people that I like. Anyway, on another note, I hope that this is not sucky. All right, so basically they're saying these retail workers are lazy for not taking a 9-hour job where they have to stand on their feet for most of the day, do probably work in an understaffed setting because there is a shortage, and work overtime, not be able to control what hours they work without getting a bunch of heat for it, be at the whim of the customers because they are always right. Hashtag always right. The retail industry as a whole, they collectively do not want to increase wages, because if they do that, then the standards will rise with the wages. So what's happening now with UI, people's standards have risen. Like, what they're willing to do for an amount of money has risen. And pretty much only the threat of starvation or homelessness is really going to get them to go back, which I feel like is immoral, but I don't control things like that yet. Oh God, I need to stop with my inflated ego, my inflated sense of self, and go back to what I was talking about. So there's definitely a game of chicken happening, I'd say. Like, it's kind of like, I think the retail industry definitely wants to just wait it out, wait for unemployment benefits to end, or not unemployment benefits to end, obviously they don't end, but wait for people to get off of the pandemic aid. Let's take it to the extreme. So, like, let's say, would anyone go to a store that pays $0? I mean, not go to a store. Would anyone apply to a place that pays you nothing? Okay, well, actually, that's the people do that with unpaid internships. Oh shit. Oh no. Well, and volunteering out of the kindness of their hearts, but unpaid internships. Wow. I feel like I just realized, like, oh, I live in a dystopian book right now, or movie. This isn't real. I like how I was gonna be like, let me go to an extreme, and then I literally described something that actually exists right now. Oh God, it got me. The illness got me. I'm gonna go to the other extreme. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm like literally tearing up slightly because that made me laugh slash cough. All right. So the other extreme is basically, imagine that these retail companies decided, okay, we're gonna pay everyone $3 million a year if you work at a grocery store. Okay. I'm just saying, like, obviously that would never happen, at least unless there was like hyperinflation, like what happened in Greece or in Venezuela. Then I guess maybe a $3 million salary would be like minimum wage. But we're talking in today's current inflation. If that happened, they would have no trouble finding extremely qualified people that would be willing to put their all into the job, right? So we can scale that down, obviously. Obviously, no one's going to pay $3 million for a retail job. You scale that down. There is a point at which you will not have issues hiring. If you are having problems hiring, then the pay is not a great enough incentive. And that's really it. That's like basic business. I mean, like, I feel as though obviously these companies are aware of that. They know that. And I do feel like saying that is important, because I think it's not to tell the companies. Obviously, no fucking company is going to listen to this. What I'm trying to say is that I want whoever is listening to this to know that they already know. They just don't want to. And I think they're willing to suffer in the short term so that they, in the long term, will be able to continue undervaluing their workers. And that's pretty much it. Like they are playing the game of chicken. They're hoping that the workers come back before they have to increase wages, and that's pretty much it. And if I honestly really hope that a lot of people that are making more money on unemployment right now are saving that money as much as they can, or paying down debts, or doing whatever they can to put themselves in a better financial situation. Because the more people that do that, the more negotiating power that person will have. If you save like 6 months worth of living expenses while on UI, like if you really are making a shit ton of money, more than you were making at your previous retail job, then I think that you might win this game of chicken. You might. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I think they'd be willing to lose a lot of money in the short term so that in the long term they can increase their profits. So I'm not exactly sure how long they'd wait it out, but I do feel as though, like, since we're already seeing that they're trying to give the like $50, $250 bonuses for becoming new hires, I do feel as though it's not just a scheme to get people off of unemployment. I don't think that's all it is. I think it's also that they just are starting to hurt. They're starting to feel the pain. They're starting to get a little worried. And I think that if people can wait it out longer, and even after the pandemic ends, if the worker shortage, and it's not a worker shortage, it's a companies aren't willing to pay more. So lack of companies willing to pay more. It's a shortage of companies willing to pay more. Shortage. Yes, that's catchy, Naomi. Thank you. I'm also thinking about the restaurant industries. There is support for the fact that things are opening up more, and I do feel like people will probably start tipping more. That relies on that sentence I just said relies on the idea that people have slowed their tipping, which they have. The restaurant industry, especially, I feel like I don't know what the answer is there, because I do feel like there are a lot of small businesses that literally rely on depressed wages of their employees. Without those depressed wages, those businesses don't exist anymore. And I'm wondering what can be done there, because, like, do I want to see all those businesses fail? No, because I do think that I'd rather see those businesses stay afloat than the super large Walmart in town. Like, I'd rather that fail than the small businesses. And so I just feel like, I don't know, I almost wish like there were some kind of, this is like weird, but like some kind of like pool that all the major businesses, like, oh, if you're a big business, then this amount of your taxes go straight into the pockets of small businesses. So the bigger you get, the bigger the small businesses get. Something like that. Like, so like your profits are tied to the growth of small businesses. But then when you define small businesses, it gets all complicated too. And a lot of businesses that are technically small businesses, you wouldn't really consider small businesses. And then like a lot of businesses, it's like complicated. It's pretty complicated. And there are a lot of businesses that I feel like maybe they should even add a technicality, like a subsection of small businesses, because I have read that like there are businesses that have like 5 people working there, and then there are businesses that have like 500 people working there, and they're both considered small businesses. I think I'm going to quickly explain, if you are still here, I'm going to explain why I have decided to put footage of myself playing a small ball mini game where it hits the sides of the walls and gets rid of things. This game is called Balls. Obviously, this is not sponsored because they're like 0 views. But it's a game that I realize like I don't have footage and I don't want to acquire footage. And I'm trying to think of, I tried to think of like, what's the best way to maintain someone's eyes on the screen, or allow them to look away, or feel like they can look away and do something else while they just listen to this. Basically, like, find a way so that I don't have to do a bunch of work in order to produce this. Like, I don't want to find a bunch of stock footage that doesn't have like the watermark over it, or like pay for something, or find something on a free stock footage website and put it all together and edit it. Like, I don't want to do that. I honestly just want to edit this on my phone, to be honest. Also, like, I don't even want to open a computer. And that's the that on that. Like, otherwise I'm not going to do this. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not going to do this if I have to put in like 14 hours of work into every video. I think like 3 hours of work, I can handle that. But like, I'm not doing anything highly produced. And the reason I put this is because I think it's interesting. I have ADHD. I have a short attention span, and I feel like those balls, it's like hypnotizing. Like, it literally, and then you feel like excited at some moments, and then you get into a lull where you're like, oh yeah, we got this, and then you get scared and anxious, like, oh shit, is it gonna finish? Are we gonna win? And then you fail, and then sometimes you cry together, you cheer together. We're all like, we're all rooting for these balls to like reach their destination. And honestly, I think that's a metaphor for this video. There is no destination. Okay, goodbye.